you advise schools and colleges on accommodating students with disabilities?
Okay, thanks a lot. I'm not really a special educator. I'm an imposter. I trained many years ago as a basic developmental therapist, but my passion is in education. And since ASTHA, I started ASTHA 30 years ago now. That's what I've really, done and focused on. But ASTHA is a community-based organization in Delhi. We work in the urban slums. We are a cross-disability organization. So for many years, actually, we've been used to working with all the kids that came to us. We never said no to any child who came to us. But over the past few years, and we've also been used to seeing a lot of severe malnourishment in the communities that we work with. And we also know that there is a very strong link between malnourishment, severe malnourishment and disability. We never quite think of it that way. We see it as, that we draw a line, just like we've always drawn a line between what is called normal and not normal, just like we draw all these lines. And I think it's only really in the last few years that we've really begun to understand that there are many other students in school, apart from the ones that we knew, and students with invisible disabilities, with conditions that are probably not recognized, and after COVID, much more so than we did earlier. And I think one of the things that I'd like to say for schools really is at present there's no conversation. We need to start the conversation in schools, in educational institutions. Today we've had so much conversation and I have learned so much hearing everybody speak. And I think that if we were to speak to educational institutions, see that actually people with invisible disabilities could go and speak in schools, could go and speak in colleges. There would be much more awareness and discussions around many of these issues that we are not talking about today. Secondly, what I'd like to say is, we do have a law. And the law, the 2016 Act, gave us many new terms, many new concepts, things like reasonable accommodation, like adaptation, like individualized support, universal design, augmentative and alternative communication. But these concepts and these terms now need to become part of educational parlance, not just parlance of the disability community. Because actually, these concepts, they are really telling us how a student can actually be equal to all the other students. And until and unless they become part of all educational institutions, things that we just normally talk about it's going to become quite difficult. We need to also see that there are actually methods and ways and schemes. In our country, everything happens with schemes. So where is the scheme so that reasonable accommodation can happen in a school or in a college? Where is that scheme? Because reasonable accommodation means a lot of flexibility. And we are not used to flexibility. We are used to this one-size-fits-all kind of rules and regulations that we need to start, and this is what I think the disability community really brings to all communities. It's the message of diversity and flexibility. And I think that we've got to look and see that these terms are actually getting used in schools, that they are actually ways to do this. There's actually money for accommodation, reasonable accommodation. You can't just do it like that. Yeah, child needs a particular kind of chair, or she's tired, she needs to lie down. There's so many things that she needs to do, but unless and until we're clear that we can do that in our classroom, we make the spaces for that, it's not going to happen. So that's the other thing I'd like to say here. Then there are many bodies in school systems, in our systems. You've got the school management committees, you've got education officers, you've got the principals, the people who are actually powerful in a school. We always target the teacher. But let's start looking at the people who are really powerful, the administrators who need